intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Territory Season 7 is about to hit us here in Star Trek Fleet Command, but some things have changed. And I also want to spend some time in this video talking about what is valuable to various players in the game. Are the services even worth it anymore, or what should you focus on? And I want to cover the changes, cover that, the logic for leaders, players alike. So stay tuned. Well, don't stay tuned. We're actually already here. Why would I wait? Let's go ahead and talk about it. So, a couple things are changing. The biggest thing that's changing is that the Gorn Eviscerator is getting added into 3-star territories. Now, that is more blueprints for us to obtain, and there is a cost to this. So keep that in mind. As we're going over cost, that is something to consider. Now, as always, I recommend a certain website when we go through this, and it is QSnap. Territory.lol. Type that into your browser. You can check it out. We just got it updated a couple days ago. Shout out to my good friend Gherkin for helping out with that. So we move over to our capture planner, and you can actually plan that with your alliance, but what I want to focus on is services. So the main new thing that got added, we can type it in right here, Evis, and you can see the Gorn Eviscerator construction yard has been added to the 3-star areas. So this is going to give another option for you to go after. And what does that end up looking like? Well, let's just take a look at one of these. We're going to make an alliance, and it's called YouTube. Yep, it's the YouTube Alliance. And as the YouTube Alliance, we're going to have this one right down here. What is that going to give us? Well, we're going to go ahead and just connect a couple of systems, hit available services, and look, we're going to have the Jellyfish, we're going to have the NX-01, we're going to have the Eviscerator, and obviously there's also Voyager options out there in the 2-star. So we have a lot of ships that we can grab. Now I want to point out that as you get closer and closer to G4, if you're a leader out there planning your services, you're planning your territory, this is, I think, very valuable. Is it the most valuable aspect of territory? No. But I do think it's very valuable, and the Gorn Eviscerator getting added is something that all alliances should consider, especially if you're a group that has upper G3 and G4 players looking to expedite their ability to get more of these specialty ships. Now, real quick, I want to flip to another graphic real quick because we have amazing content creators. We have amazing people making really pretty things, and it is this map. So again, shout out to our friends who make these cool things. This is Hog Monster who shared this. So as you can see here, you can see all these services. The main thing I want to point out in this video is what I believe is valuable to you, the average player. And that's two main things. Now, there are a lot of things that exist in terms of services across the map, and you can see that here, but I don't feel like most of them are relevant in today's game. Now, they have added some and they've changed some things around, but the main things I want you to focus on are going to be the particles and the mines. Now, I know, Rev talking positively about mining, but the truth is you need isogen, right? I think just about everybody here does. You need to mine it. Well, to do that, you need to have the territory, and secondly, you need the particles for research. And to get all the particles, there are several different locations across the map, and I'll show you some examples of how you can get all 5 particles, which honestly is super useful. But we want to get the Quantum, we want to get the Phantom and the Surax, but we also want to get the Chrono and the Metreon. Now, those are going to be locked behind the 3-star territories. There's one right behind me, but you can see those across the map. But what's going to affect the average player the most is going to be that right there. Being able to actually access those researches because they're going to cause those various particles. So if we hop back over into the game real quick, right here, see this is where we're at. You can see that I can go into my research tree and I'm going to need those particles for various researches. Now this is my level 30 account, so bear with me for not having near as many researches done. But as you get further and further in this tree, you're going to need chronometric particles. You're going to need Metreon. You're going to need, as you can see here, we're going to need our Phantom and our Surax and our Quantum. And these are still really positive and relative buffs, especially the efficiency buffs that exist here. Remember, anything that has a little $sign, that's an efficiency research here in the game. So as an alliance, you're really wanting as a player to look for alliances that are giving you those particles, because the average player, that's what they need more than anything. A lot of the services that exist simply don't provide a lot of value. And here I'll even show you some of the ones that we have the option of activating and we just typically don't. Why? Well, because they don't give a lot. So for example, let's pull up this one out here in Roshar. It's a 2-star system. So one of the newer things that Scopely has added are things like this: Advanced PvP Apex Barrier. Up to 10,000 base Apex Barrier to all ships when in combat against players. But what's the drawback to this? Well, for example, Apex Shred. 10,000 is solid, again, depending on players, depending on what level you are, because as you can see, it's limited to level. But for where most of the players are on my server, this would only be a 2,500 improvement to their apex barrier, which is fine. It's still more, but that's not at a point where it's drastically improving the game much for a lot of players out there. And of course, you have this one over as well. And again, keep in mind on these, during a takeover can be such a weird, awful, thing you're wasting currency on is what I'm telling you. So what you end up having is a lot of these researches not really mattering. For example, a 75 boost to research speed in today's game for the average player is minimal at best. Yet, so it's not something you should go focus on grabbing a territory for. But what can be valuable is, as which you can see here, the Surex particles and the improved Isogen refinery, making it easier for you to get more of that ISO currency refined, as well as the territory particles you need to get going. So let's hop back over to the map. Let's talk about getting those particles, right? Again, that's what I feel is the most beneficial to the average player out there. So whether you're looking for alliance or you're an alliance looking to set things up, this is what I want you to kind of take a gander at and focus on. So if we're going to make our little alliance right here, we called them YouTube, we're just going to grab some territories. Now remember that map I showed you from Hog Monster. Shout out to Hog Monster for putting it together. Now you can see it, there are some different maneuvers you can make, several different places on the map actually, where you can get all 5 of the main particles. The only thing that's going to draw you back is, well, maybe you won't get crystal or gas nodes to mine, but you'll still get all 3 Isogen nodes to mine as well. So with this in mind, let's take a look at, well, what if we made this little weird shape down here? Maybe we want to grab 2 3-stars because we want to be extra greedy. Well, what would that do? Well, number one alliances like doing that, and I don't blame them for it, but that would give you Surax, Quantum, Surax, and then Chrono. So we're missing Phantom. So what will we do? We sacrifice that 3-star and we go and grab something else. What about this right here? Is that one the Phantom? Yeah, so we're gonna grab that. We have Surax, Quantum, Phantom. Now you've got all 5 particles, all the ship part manufacturers, and you've got all the node types. Except for, you're going to be limited in not having all of the mining node types in terms of ore, crystal, gas, but you now have most of the major services, and you've got the major mining nodes for all 3 various stages of Isogen, which again, I think is going to affect most of you the most here in STFC, is how can I get that? Now there's another layer to this as well as you're planning this out. And a lot of servers have gotten to where I was talking to actually a leader on server 710 yesterday, and how some servers will play Kingmaker, say, well, you all got to live in these various spots. Well, that can lead to territory not moving around and changing much. The main thing besides particles that I think is very important actually comes back to simply having territory. Now, what is in the territory absolutely matters. Don't take that as me saying it doesn't, but let me swap back. So for example, you hopefully have finished your territory capture season pass. We have, heck, we've done it in the middle of 2 different wars throughout the time season 6 has existed. So if we can do it, you can do it as well. But what do you get in this pass? Well, you get a lot of chronometric particles. That way, if you're in an alliance, for example, that doesn't have a 3-star territory, but you still want to get those materials, chronometric particles. You get that from simply doing the free track, let alone the pay track should you choose to purchase it. You also get other things like the emblems of honor to help upgrade those buildings that take forever. You get artifact shards. This is critical. The free battle passes that exist, even if you're not a spinner, can be a tremendous boost to the average account, which means you need territory to get that. In fact, my alliance captured a couple of territories that we don't even need in terms of particle wise, simply because we wanted to have more days. We actually timed our days based on, okay, well, Combs, Alpha, and Beta, for example, are on a different day than our other territory captures. So we're going to have that just to make sure all of our alliance members have a day so they can get their points and they can complete that SMS that proposes or that provides a lot of value to a lot of players. Now, again, I really want to emphasize that if you're out there, and I know many people get discouraged because they'll look at these maps and say, hey, the top alliances are going to have everything. But the secret to territory in today's game is, what I've really been trying to focus in this video is people get lost on things like services when truly those services don't matter that much anymore. Yes, if you're level 61, you got another 10,000 Apex in that, one service I showed you, but go ask a level 61 what their Apex barrier is. Many of them are putting out Apex barrier of 200,000, 300,000. Is 10,000 doing much for them, right? Even in G3 and G4, where a lot of players have gotten, say, Mirror Picard and Mirror Data, they're putting out Apex well above 10,000. And if they've got Mirror Uhura, it's even higher. So again, are those services relative to the average player's needs? I don't think they are, but that doesn't mean that every player can't benefit, and that's why Surex particles, quantum particles, phantom particles, what you want for the research comes in key. And again, just to remind you of some of those impactful researches, I know I showed you on the screen with our low level account, but I'm actually gonna bring in a level 57 account to give an example. And here, look at these different things that you get down the road. So Isogen, we talk about Isogen costing a lot, but these actually don't end up having high cost points. However, there's the chronometrics that we get for free in our battle pass, even if you don't have a 3-star territory. And look how it's boosting our isolytic for all Klingon ships, whether it's grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, grade 6, all of them getting boost. Well, let's also talk about more hull health. This benefits everybody, right? This is for all of my ships. And again, same things that we get from our territory pass for free. And then simply by doing our refines, by activating those services and having those territories present. And again, look for those dollar signs, especially in the earlier parts of the tree. I love efficiency, optimized ship upgrades, cost of par steel, turn lithium into lithium. You might think that might not matter, but try to pick up a level 60 ship right now and max it out day one. Let me know you don't need titanium costs. Look at the optimization costs, the research costs. All of these matter. Repair costs can help, especially as you get into the Sigma levels. So there's still a lot of value in the tree, even if there's not as much value in the services themselves left in the game right now. Still something I strongly encourage you, if you're looking at Season 7 here, what can I do for my alliance? Or as a player, where can I go to get the most bang for my buck? The biggest thing is being able to complete the pass, getting the particles, which as a reminder, if you've forgotten how to do that, you open up your gift chest, scroll down here to the bottom, click territory, and that's how you would then go and collect your particles. You see we have Quantum, Surex, and Chrono currently turned on. There's also another little way to get that if you're doing your refines every day. Again, just always good to have these nice little tips, tricks, or reminders. Back out here, head back over to your refinery in the territory tree. Obviously do your refines, then scroll down to the very end where you can do this one, and there's a chance that you'll get Metreon as well as the normal 3 plus that ISO resin for some of those PvP oriented ones. Hope this video helped you out. Again, really wanting to focus on what's important to the average player out there in STFC. Season 7 really comes down to not the services that have changed, but where are the particles and making sure that y'all can get that battle pass done. And then for those of you who are in G4 trying to speed up those loops, those ship BPs. That's what I think has the most value. Let me know what you think has the most value in the comment section down below, because yeah, it matters. You matter. You're important. So let me know what you think. See you on the next one. If you know all the changes, well, you can see them in the picture, but if you still want to know what did change, hit me up on Discord. More than happy to answer. Live long and plunder. Stay safe, other space cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next Star Trek Fleeking Man video, and we're out.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.